Good morning. I'm Maureen Taylor Archer, Vice Provost for Diversity and International Affairs here at the University of Louisville. Today marks a historic and defining moment for the University of Louisville and for the city of Louisville. Today, President Ramsey and Mayor Greg Fischer have come together to take immediate steps to have this Confederate statue removed. The statue and all Confederate symbols are painful reminders of a shameful era in the history of this country, a time when African Americans were treated as chattel and less than human. It was during the period of slavery when Confederate soldiers fought to keep this inhumane system in place. Each year since I've been here, which I arrived in 2001, students, faculty, and staff have walked past this statue, and they have complained about how painful it is to have to see it each day. So I acknowledge all of the voices from students, faculty, and staff that called for the statue to be removed. When President Ramsey took office in 2002, one of the first things that he did was to have all symbols of the Confederacy removed from campus. However, since the university did not own the land on which this statue sits, he alone could not have it removed. However, today I am thrilled, and words cannot express the elation I feel in knowing that this statue will be removed. And we have President Ramsey and Mayor Fischer to thank for making this happen. Now I want to introduce President Ramsey and personally and publicly thank him for his unwavering commitment to diversity and for all of the progress the university has made under his leadership. President Ramsey.
Thank you, Maureen. Would you join me in again expressing our appreciation to Maureen for all that she does on behalf of our faculty, our staff, and our students every day. Maureen has mentioned a little bit of history. Let me give you my perspective. I started in this position in 2002, and shortly after I started, I was almost made aware by accident of the fact that this roadway right back here was at that time called Confederate Place. And we came together, we met regularly with a group of faculty and staff to talk about issues, and we immediately decided that we needed to rename that. That was university property, and we needed to rename that, and we had a campus, not really a competition, but took suggestions from across campus, and the name that we selected to replace the name Confederate Place was Unity Place. At the same time, we looked at this piece of property here and what we might be able to do here where our Playhouse Theater is located. And at that time, we decided that perhaps what we could create was what you see today, Freedom Park, behind us. And Freedom Park was an effort to tell of the civil rights struggle in our community, in our state, and in our nation. And so as you walk around Freedom Park, you'll see 10 different vignettes that talk about different periods of time, right up to the current time and the struggle that we still face today. We also want to recognize the legacy of great civil rights leaders in our community. And so as you walk on the other side of the Playhouse, you'll see stories that tell of the work of Ann Braden, Dr. Rufus Clement, Lyman Johnson, Dr. Lucy Freiberg, Dr. Charles Parrish Jr., Dr. Eleanor Young Love, Dr. Joe McMillan, who we all remember and miss, Woodford Porter, Wilson White, and then later, after his death, Dr. Blaine Hudson. Less than a year ago, State of the University Week 2015, we gathered in this location again to rename Freedom Park for Dr. Charles Parrish. Dr. Parrish was a faculty member at Simmons, and after the demise of Simmons, came to the University of Louisville as first African American faculty member at the University of Louisville and the first department chair for any academic department of any college in the South. And today, this area behind the monument is called Charles Parrish Freedom Park. As Maureen said, today we gather to announce the immediate removal of the Confederate monument from this property. And you can see the equipment back here. It is ready to go. This monument was dedicated in 1895 as a gift to Louisville to commemorate the Kentucky soldiers who fought for the Confederacy and died in the Civil War. And you'll see that inscription on the monument. The women who raised $12,500 to erect this monument knew these men. They were their husbands, their brothers, their fathers. And as Maureen said, they were fighting for a cause. And I don't believe the women were making a political statement, but were honoring those loved ones that died. And so as a result, it's time for us to move this monument to a more appropriate place. And we have been talking with 4 different locations where it would be more appropriate for this statue to be located, where there are Confederate cemeteries and other such locations. At the time the monument was built, 3rd Street really ended right here. And at that time, we were a country that was trying to reunite after, as Maureen described, a very, very difficult war in which brother fought against brother, and that time in which the Confederacy represented that all men were not created equal, and that it was okay for some people to own and trade other people. So it's time for us as the University of Louisville to step forward in partnership with the city of Louisville and to move this monument and to reaffirm our commitment to one of the basic tenets of our 2020 plan, and that is a commitment to inclusiveness, social injustice, and a commitment to diversity and respect for all people. We at the University of Louisville over time have worked hard to become a university of choice for the very best students in this community and in this state and across the country. And it's our job to not only recruit those students, but give those students a world-class education and to help those students realize that they're going to need to compete and to interact in a global economy, a worldwide economy, a diverse economy. And so it is for us to provide them an environment that is inclusive, an environment that is caring, an environment that values and respects all individuals. And over the last year, we as a university have renewed our commitment, going back to last fall. And we've met with groups on campus, and we've created a diversity committee. And we took all the recommendations that we had received from campus discussions, but there was one thing missing from those committee reports that the broader diversity committee said we've got to do, and that was remove this statue from this monument from our campus. We have a responsibility to our students to provide them a world-class education that is committed to the values that we hold dear. So it's time, at this time, the University of Louisville and the city are coming together and following the example of those civil rights leaders whose names I read earlier, who are featured at the other end of Charles Parrish Freedom Park. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the mayor, thank him for all that he does for this community, thank him for his leadership, for his commitment to making this a compassionate city, and to thank him for when we went to him and said it's time, he moves pretty quickly, and he got his folks to move pretty quickly. So Mayor, we thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here today. I'd like to recognize a couple of our council members. David Tandy, thank you for being here today. Mary Woolridge, Barbara Shanklin, Bill Hollander, David James, appreciate y'all being here. And Tom Owen. Tom, thank you. Also a university employee. So when this monument on South 3rd Street was built in the 1890s, there was a conversation in the community about where it should be placed. It was partly about geography, but it was also about the context of the day and the legacy of the Civil War. It was a complicated question in 1895 with Union and Confederate veterans, along with freed slaves and their families living in this city, passing each other on the same streets every day. Today, 121 years later, we can understand the complicated nature of 1895 and appreciate that the citizens felt like placing this memorial on 3rd Street at the far edge of town was the right decision to make. But today, a different decision has been made. There are a lot of practical reasons why this statue should not be here, like traffic complications it causes turning in and out of the beautiful new Speed Art Museum. There's civic reasons for why this statue should not be here, like citizens objecting to having a monument to the Confederacy placed on public land. I recognize that some people say this monument should stay here because it is part of history, but I also appreciate that we can make our own history. The stain of slavery and racism that this monument represents for many, many people has no place in a compassionate, forward-looking city. I know that some people may be upset by the removal of this statue. Others will be upset because it's not being blown up. But it is inarguably a piece of our history, and it will be moved to a more appropriate place where those who wish to visit it for its historical significance will be free to do so. I would like to thank all the people that have contributed to the actions that have been taken today. This has been in progress for almost a year. President Ramsey, the University of Louisville Foundation, the state's transportation department, students, educators, and activists. I think it's a testament to our citizens that we can make this happen as one people moving together to help create a better tomorrow for our city. Today, the removal of this monument is another step of progress on the city's journey toward creating a home where everyone feels welcome. There will always be more work to do on the path to justice. Today, we made a down payment. Thank you.
We know that removing this monument, this statue, will not erase the vestiges of slavery that remains in terms of economic, educational, political, health, and social disparities. So we must remain committed to social justice and to eliminating the inequalities that continue to exist. However, today is important because it brings into reality the fact that we do not have to live daily with the symbols of racism and divisiveness that this statue represents. It demonstrates that Louisville is indeed a compassionate city, and it puts into action the University of Louisville's commitment to social justice. So before closing, I just want to recognize a lot of the behind-the-scene work that it took to get this done. So I really want to recognize Ms. Kathleen Smith, who has been, so Kathleen, thank you very much. And before I sit, I just want to recognize all of the elected officials, both Metro Council, I think the mayor has recognized you, but will you please stand, because we appreciate the support that you continue to give to us. So thank you. And so with that, that closes this part of the thing, unless you want to have anything else to say. All right, so thanks everyone for coming.